right, I'm going to do some news today on the Miami Dolphins, AFC Conference leaders. Currently, I don't do the fan thing as too much here, but it's very enjoyable to be leading the AFC Conference after 13 weeks. That's mind-blowing. Jags dropped one. Chiefs dropped one. Dolphins are now in the catbird seat. They're at the top of the mountain. Whatever they do going forward is going to determine their situation. And if they win, they control it all. So it's a nerve-wracking thing when you're on top because the only place you can go is down or stay at the top. There is no middle ground. For me, it's nerve-wracking as a fan since 1978, but it is satisfying because I said at the beginning of the year, there is no middle ground as far as the evaluations for the season. And with the Dolphins being here in control at the top of the mountain, there is no middle ground. Dolphins need to go to the conference championship, obviously, win the AFC East. They're guaranteed to go to the playoffs, unless, I don't know, an atom bomb hits the stadium or whatever. It's almost impossible. But they've got to win, and the seeding is going to play a big part of it. But all they got to do is win. Win, baby, win, and the Dolphins can go anywhere they want. They are not looking at anybody else's destiny because they're in charge. And that's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to cover the AFC Conference leader Dolphins today. I'm going to go over some of the injury news. I'm going to go over some film on Van Ginkel, a little bit of dash of Agba there to kind of pull that together. And then go over Tua with a small little analytic lead up on the offensive line to keep showing my point that Tua, Hill, Waddle, and McDaniel are the biggest piece of the pie. It's not to destroy any positivities for the offensive line. Clearly, when Teron, Connor, and Hunt was in, you could see some good stuff. But from what you're seeing by McDaniel and how Tua and Hill and Waddle are operating, they're doing stuff that is not conventional. The skills are uplifting this blocking, and I will show, again, a common trend from week to week to week. I had a great guy post-game. He's like, the time to throw is 2.7. And so that would kind of go against what I've been saying about the speed of throw is uplifting the blocking. Now, when you actually look at the numbers of how that came about, it will go back to proving what I've been saying. Speed of throw is the thing. And I'm not going to just say it. I'm going to prove it. So I'm going to use a lot of statistics. I was going to use this one comment I got from the other day. It was like it's the worst comment I've ever gotten, I've ever received. And I'm going to do a little thing on it next time. I just didn't have the time to waste on it, but it's funny. So that will be it. It will be injuries, Van Ginkel, Agba, a nice piece on Tua and Hill and McDaniel. You got to really understand what these guys are doing. And then just a little thing with the offensive line. I'll do offensive line film tomorrow a little bit. I'm going to do some other things, some defensive pieces as well. So that'll be the show. Before I get into it, guys, we are fans of the AFC Conference leaders. I've waited a long time for that. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to milk it as long as I got it. Hopefully it goes all the way to the end. But I want to give you a shout out and a shout out to my sponsors, because without the two of you, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, injuries. Teron's got an ankle. I think I saw Omar Kelly say that he hasn't seen him be as violent, and he hasn't. He's been kind of getting by, but he's breaking down. When one part of the body goes, other parts kind of overcompensate, and then they start breaking down, and his whole lower body is breaking down. I think this guy could still play. I think you could literally take a chainsaw, take one of his legs off and one of his arms off, and he would still be a top 25 blocker. And this guy is so tough, he will play through just about anything if it's possible. So he had an ankle injury to go along with the knee injury and the hip and the quad and whatever else. We've got 2 very manageable games. I don't understand. I don't think it's possible for us, in the realm of, sensible prognostication not to be 11-3. So we might be able to give him a break if Lamb can get in there and stuff like that. I think we need him at the end and we'll wait to the push. So it's not terrible news. He could have came back in. He's Tehran. Now, Hunt's a little bit more of a concern. I'm going to show you a film tomorrow about actually when he pulled it and it's down low. It's been so long since I played and had a hammy. Can anybody tell me? I can't remember. Was it better to get the mid-ham or where the connector is? Which is the better one or worse? I think it's down by the connector. It might be a little worse. I'm not sure. But this is a re-aggravation. It's going to throw him off. And I think this thing might be something he deals with all season, which is not good. But again, we got that 2-week bye week against teams that, Titans are no good, no bueno. I mean, they're better than the Jets. Jets got a college team, offense, and they're a disaster. I think they're going to quit. So we got 2 weeks to, get these guys back. I'm a little more concerned with Hunt because hamstrings are notoriously difficult to recover from. And for him to get re-aggravated now, it's making me concerned because he waited 2 or 3 weeks before he played, and now you're going to need him in that Dallas game, and so I'm a little concerned with that. Baker. I thought Baker was going to have a very good season. It kind of started off a little shaky, but it really picked up. He's having one of his best seasons, not, because the blitz is what really made him. In Flores' defense, he was huge. He was critical. Those blitzes were a big part of why they got him, but he has uplifted his game in many, many parts. But tomorrow I'm going to do a little bit film on Duke Riley. You can see a little clip here. This guy is very quick in his reads. He's a good tackler. He can cover okay in smaller space. He doesn't bring the blitz capacity, the ability to explode after in the pass rush. But this guy's I've really been high on him for a while as far as being a backup. A guy could even come in and do a little low-level starting. It's great to have him. Baker, though, is going to be out for a couple of weeks. They say it's no surgery. It's an MCL strain. So we should see him. They say 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 5. You want to make sure with that kind of thing. So that's really great news. Now, I want to get into Van Ginkel. Van Ginkel is going to be ultra expensive to keep. I don't know how it's going to work out. There's a lot of things we could do, but I don't think there's enough to get all these guys. Van Ginkel with the starting role is going to do phenomenal. I've done film on him for years. I was sorry to see him go. I was happy to see him come back. He's going to have a great season, and I'm going to be biting my fingernails in the offseason. So, but this guy is a player. I thought he could have filled in Chubb's role before we traded for him, but to have him there, big plays. So let's take a look at his film and see what we see. All right, Andrew Van Ginkel off the edge. This is early in the game, and watch him put the hand in the chest, and look how close he is to a strip sack. That could have been a huge play. So close. Here he is again, off the edge, beats the tight end. That's a spin inside, and bang! Man, he should have had that sack. Let's take a look at that again. Off the tight end, hand inside, the spin, and then bang! That should have been a sack. Now watch this hold. Look at this. How is that not called? That is quintessential holding. It's insane what's happening in the NFL. Holding call is the most mercurial and non-called penalty in the game. It's actually kind of sort of ruining the game a little bit. That should have been called along with the sack. Come back. Here he is on the edge, and we know this one to pick. All right, take a notice of Van Ginkel right here, and number one, who's 5'11", 190, and runs a 4.43. And look at how little makeup there is over 30 yards. That is crazy. Van Ginkel's a shot of the kind. Look at that. I mean, he's still pretty far away, and there's a 60-pound difference. Again, over here, this is Van Ginkel on the edge, and watch. He gets sandwiched there and a little bit on the crack, the come down block, but gets off it, and then he's the lead tackler. What a day. This guy is really a Viking hero. Here's Ogbo with the bull rush. He can definitely do this. Still got the bull rush. But the problem is, remember the Van Ginkel play? He gets sucked up inside a little bit, not bad. He's got the hand there. He's ready to go, but then he bites inside, and that was a bad move, and then he just doesn't have the speed to get outside. So that's where Van Ginkel, you can see right here, he's better on the edge in the run stop. Clearly, guy's smart. I thought he figured it out himself, but Fangio told him, if that tackle does this, then you do that, you drop. And he's like, I can't believe it. That's what happened. And he responded. Now, it's one thing for somebody to tell you, and it's another thing to react and then catch that football and then shoot like he did. I mean, a guy, like I said in the film, he runs a 4.43 and he's 5'11", like 190. And there wasn't much makeup distance. This guy's a better athlete than he gets credit for. He's not Phillips level athlete, and he doesn't have the explosion. But look at those plays. What an awesome find. Now, again, that's Fangio. He was going to be allowed to walk. Greer was going to let him walk. McDaniel was going to let him walk. But Fangio came in, called him up and said, I want you, and talked him back. What another big move by Fangio. It's not a knock on Greer, and it's not a knock on McDaniel because they don't know what the new D coordinator would want. And look, they were a little tight on cash. But Fangio saw it. Fangio sold it. And this is a big win for us in Fangio. So, but I want to show you these statistics, okay? If you've been watching me for weeks, I do a bunch of statistics on the offensive line to show you, well, how does the protection come about? People just like to go and PFF pressures, and that's well and good, but it's a small snippet. It doesn't tell you the how, and the how is critical. So you're going to see my mug for a little bit. I'm going to put this graphic up before I get into the Tua film. So let's take a look at this information here. So we had 24 passes. We ran 6 play actions and 5 screens. That's 11 off the 24, which leaves 13 actual pass plays that we had semi-normal protection, and it wasn't designed for trickery or extra protection. Now, if you look at the play action, time to throw is 2.52. Now, when you run play action, there's lots of bodies there, and it does slow down the pass rush, 2.52. The screen was 1.54. I got that in the blue to show you that is context to speeding up the throws, the number you're going to see. And the overall 2.52 is during the play action, but those are normally slower. But for the most part, that is about around 4th to 5th fastest throws in the NFL. This was a little bit slower week this week. Now, if you go down, you see I got the red numbers here. I'll get that in a second, the red writing next to pass pressure. But if you look at kept clean, it was 18 of the 24 plays. 2.26. So 75% of the plays were at 2.26. Speed of throw generated 75% of the protection. Okay? So let's be clear on that. Now, under pressure, 3.47. I put blue around that because that slows, that raises the time to throw dramatically. I mean, you're talking 1 second, 1.2 second difference. That's a big, and that's 6 plays. And so that rises it up to that 2.7 level. That's a big piece of why it rose to the 2.7 level. Now you had the 1.54, which is a second less. So if you average it out, there's 1 play less on the screens, 1 more on the under pressures, but still that's 0.2 seconds differential to the high side to raising that time to throw. Now, not blitzed, 20 plays, 2.62. There were some play actions in there, obviously. When blitzed, 2.304. So there's only 4 blitzes on the day, and that pressure came in at 2.30. All plays, 2.56. Okay? So when you look at it, the majority was 2.26, but they only blitzed 4 times. And if you look at my little red lettering over there. It's 19 passes, 24 minus the 5 screens because you're supposed to let pressure in there, plus 5 extra blockers. We use 5 extra blockers throughout the regular plays, plus 6 play actions. That was 5.89 blockers versus their 4.3. Now, that was half a guy more, okay? 1.5 guys more, but it's a lowering of what we had previously. We're in the low 6 range. But Teron, Connor, and Hunt uplift the protection, and they do a huge, huge benefit for Tua. But 75% with 2.26. Now, McDaniel is not getting, yes, McDaniel, he ran the football a lot. He understood we got to protect this quarterback. We got some guys banged up. We got some guys in there that, need some marination or whatever. And he called 11 plays to mitigate the pass rush, and he ran the football a ton, which means he's cognizant. Last year, he would have gone vertical, and had few guys out in extra blocking, wouldn't have ran the ball a lot, and the pressure would have been there. He's gotten smarter, and then Tua and Hill have got more on the page, and now he's coming together with Waddle to bring it all together. But as you're going to see in a film, Tua has done a ton for this protection to be able to move out and buy time and then also make those throws. The protection's not terrible. And when you got Teron, Connor, and Hunt in there, especially Connor and Hunt working together, there's some nice plays by them in the run game. But it's got to start 75% with Tua. Tua deserves tons of credit. And it's so funny that people want to get an uproar that Tua is not getting enough credit. But when you overvalue the protection, you're undervaluing what Tua, Hill, McDaniel, and Waddle are doing. So let's take a look at the film of Tua and see what we see. All right, take a notice of Hill down at the bottom, and look at this coverage. You got 2 guys open. You got Hill, and you got running back at the top. What a terrible defense. Who calls this? What's disrespectful? And look, that safety shading away from Hill. That's the disrespect that I love. And Hill said he hopes he keeps on getting it. What's wrong with Rivera? What's wrong with these DCs? And then just bang, zoom. Not a great play by Tua, just bad defense. Still a good throw, but it's really Hill's a superstar. Now look at again, they don't pay attention to Hill, who's down there wide open. Tua goes inside, but he does. I think he's just focused a little too much on Waddle, but then he wants to pull it off, and then a blitz comes in there. But look where Hill is all alone. If that protection, the back had made that block, and then he could have seen him, that's another huge play. How do you not dial in on Hill? It's almost insane. Again, look, you can see right here, he could have came back around, gone, fixated a little bit to the right side and came back, but this is something the guy can grow in. I mean, not everybody makes the right read every single time. Then he has to toss it out over here. But now here's another one, a little fixating a little bit on the inside. He misses down backside, and that would have been a hard progression for him to get to. Some people are going to fixate on that, but I don't think that. But then he rolls out over here and then makes a great throw, and then Waddle just drops it. And so there's things he can grow on, but the movement skills, they're going to play out big in these bigger games against these bigger teams. Just got to hold on to the ball. Again, play action. Look at this. How do you have, it's so crazy. You've got all these guys on 2 guys. You got max protect with 8 guys in, and you're still able to almost get this ball off, which is crazy. Tua makes a beautiful throw, and Waddle almost gets there. Take a look at it here. I mean, look at this. 4 guys on 2 on the inside, 2 guys on the flanks. And then, but look at the coverage. 3 linebackers in there, which is ridiculous. And then watch this. So close. Almost a huge, perfect place to put it just about. Maybe an inch or 2 less, but whoa. Comes back here, and this is the one people, look at it. He's got a guy in his face. He doesn't have time to really read. He throws it outside because that's the safest spot. And then Hill just makes an unbelievable correction. But look at the pressure he's got in his face right here. I mean, he's just got to, he can't throw it inside. He can't risk that. He throws it outside, which is the safest spot. And then Hill, unbelievable, tracks it, turns and tracks and catches in stride. Guy's a stud. Look at that. That is ultra, ultra talent. Then here's the one. Look at this free guy coming in there. He'd be dead to rights. Now, this guy's not, the greatest pass rusher in the world, but still, look at that. That uplifts your offensive line. And that's something that is, again, going to pay huge dividends. Look, dead to right, bang. He is so full of confidence, leaving this guy in dust, and then makes the completion, which is real, real nice. Again, look at this. Look at this triangle here. This is a tight, small triangle, and he fits it right in there. Perfect throw, up high. Him and Hill have just great, great chemistry, and look at that. Perfect. That is a thing of beauty. Look at that, how beautiful. Outstretched arms of the corner. And bang, zoom, baby. All right, here's another one. Pressure inside. And he makes the move. He keeps his eyes upfield and then instantly releases with that lightning fast release. Look at that pressure. Let's another hold, not called, but they're not calling him anymore until they won, I guess. And then watch that reset. Bang. Beautiful. Then here, watch that. Look how quickly he gets the ball in the gut and out and throws before anybody can even close on it. And that's the release that is lifting this whole team, and it's lifting Tua to extreme heights. It's his number one elite asset. All right, so I didn't do all his greatest hits. There was a couple of places where he could have grown in, but that's natural. The guy's in his fourth year, second year of the offense. Look at his difference between year one in this offense and year two. He's going to grow. There's some reads. Sometimes he locks in on a guy a little too long. He doesn't flow through his reads. But some of those throws were unbelievable. And his ability to buy time with the movement. You add that release, you add the movement skills and the anticipatory throws with Hill, who is an unbelievable, truly generational talent, with Waddle, who does have a little bit of the dropsies, but he's growing, and he's unbelievable accelerant and a player in his own right. You've got the makings of something totally different. I don't know. I can't name another quarterback, OC, and receivers who were able. We talk greatest show on turf. They had Orlando Pace. Healthy, generational. One of the greatest of all time. And there's some other guys on that offensive line that were pretty good. I can't remember right now. Got old timers. But Tua deserves tons and tons of credit. Hill, Waddle, and McDaniel. And if you can add these guys with Teron, Connor, and Hunt, and a little bit of, Jackson's not terrible. He's doing his job. Maybe get a little better on that left guard spot. Maybe get some development there. Anything's possible, guys. But it starts with speed of throw, designs of plays, and speed of foot for Hill. That's the primary assets to this offense. So anyway, guys, we have something special here. We are the AFC Conference leaders and the division leaders. Enjoy. I don't know what the future will hold. I know we're going to win. I'm almost positive 11-3, and then we got the real evaluations coming. But enjoy. So many of us have waited so long. Anyway, Kurt saying, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. AFC East and conference leaders. I like that. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with acebread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.